Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing another movie review. This movie is a horror film from Poland, Polish language English subs, released in the year 2022, directed by Bartosz M. Kowalski, and this film is called Hellhole. So Hellhole is about an undercover agent who has been sent to investigate the disappearance of multiple women that were last seen at this monastery. So it's very odd. This monastery can't be investigated officially because they have sacred privileges, and so the police force send this undercover agent to try and find out what happened to them. But as he's investigating, he realises that this is a very strange monastery indeed, and he's going to uncover something far more terrifying. And so what that is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Hellhole. Bartosz M. Kowalski is a relatively new director. He hasn't been on the scene for very long, but he got my attention through the films Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight 1 and 2. Now those were slasher films that were not really well received. Now, on IMDb they have horrible scores, but I believe they're a lot better than a lot of people suggest, each to their own, whether or not you hated it. But for me, the reason why I gravitated to these films is because of the quirky style that Bartosz M. Kowalski has. He has this captivating quality about him that just keeps your eyes glued to the screen, and so you know that these films have problems, but you can't help but feel as though you're entranced. And so that's what I really liked about those two movies. Well, I saw the first film, I thought, alright, well, I don't really feel too much about it, but I had the theme song stuck in my head and I couldn't get it out. And so that was the captivating quality, is that the theme song was just so good that I just couldn't help but keep remembering in that film. And so when I saw number 2, I didn't have massive expectations, but that movie really won me over. And that only has 3.8 on IMDb. And I can understand why. It's because he's a very different director. And so if you go in there expecting a typical sort of slasher film, you're going to be disappointed. But for me, the reason why I liked it so much is because it was different. He creates his own world, it's a quirky world, and it's a very uncomfortable sort of world as well. And so coming into Hellhole, knowing that this is another movie for Bartosz M. Kowalski, I was very intrigued to see what he was going to produce. And what he produces is an equally fascinating experience. This is a movie that is a demonic possession subgenre film. So you're probably thinking you know how this movie is going to unfold, but in typical Bartosz M. Kowalski fashion, he's really spun it on its head and he's created something very unpredictable, which is exactly what he did with his slasher films. So he's taking very generic material, but he's actually making something of his own, and that's very rare to see in today's world as far as cinema is concerned. Everyone wants to repeat stuff that's been very successful, but this director has actually made things in his own world, and the world lore that he builds, I think, is absolutely fascinating, and it's no different with Hellhole. This is a movie that was incredibly creepy, but it was just the captivating quality that he possesses in this movie. It's completely different from those slasher films, but it has that same quality that just mesmerizes you in a very subtle way. I couldn't help but feel I wanted to be part of this world. I wanted to be part of this, of this very creepy atmosphere, and the atmosphere of this monastery I thought was fantastic. There were some light-hearted moments that never elevates itself into a horror comedy, but it just has that quirky feel. Okay, there's something is off. There are light-hearted, humorous moments that are mixed in with really serious moments, and so you're not quite sure how you feel, and ultimately what you feel is awkward. And awkwardness is definitely something that makes you feel very uncomfortable, and that's the best way I can sum up Hellhole. It's just a very awkward feeling that you have. It's an investigative sort of film. This agent has gone into this monastery to find out what's happened to these women, but you know something is simmering underneath. You don't know exactly what it is, but the more he investigates, the closer you're getting to that simmering sort of revelation. And there's a whole sense of anticipation. And so the overall film had a really solid plan through its script and the characters to create a level of intrigue and curiosity, and it doesn't answer its questions too early. So it uses up its aces very well because it never outstays its welcome. And so it's elevating to something very big, and then it hits you with a really rewarding finish. It's a balls to the wall crazy finish, and so that was something I really liked. I always felt as though there was a little bit of hesitation there that maybe the final reveal wasn't going to be worth the anticipation and the wait, but I actually thought as though it was worth the wait. It actually hit me on a level that I thought was, okay, that is a satisfying result in actually keeping with the director. He's actually going to reward you for sticking it out, instead of actually giving you a cop-out twist ending that just doesn't make any sense, and it's basically playing it safe. This is a director who definitely plays things very risky, but he has the confidence in his own world that he knows people are going to follow. And so I'm a massive fan of this director. He is definitely underrated. As I said, the first 2 movies he actually created are movies that I thought were really harshly judged in IMDb, but it is each to their own. I can understand why people would hate it, but for me it just had that captivating quality. Yes, those movies had major problems, but I could overlook them because of the captivating quality, the trance-like atmosphere that he creates. And in Hellhole, I think this is a better film than his previous two, but it has that equally intriguing sort of curiosity that just creates a level of mystery where you want to know what's behind the door. And when you know what's behind that corner, I felt as though, okay, I have been really rewarded with what I've got. If I have issues with this movie, the film doesn't strive to be a breakout film. You know, it's a movie that you watch once, you don't necessarily want to watch again, and so the replay value is not really there, but it doesn't really try so hard to actually break barriers. It's not trying so hard to win awards, so it does stay within its confines of safety to some degree, but there's enough experimental sort of value in this movie to indicate that this is a very competent director and it's a very competent film. And if you want something different within a very tired subgenre of demonic possession, then I definitely feel as though Hellhole is well worth the effort. So overall, it's not an absolutely fantastic film, but it's very competent and it's certainly going to please a lot of people. I'm going to give this film 3.5 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies and I'll see you later.